What's up, folks? Man, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Alright, man, I'm gonna do this a little different, man. Usually I do topics on, various issues that's going on, various topics. But I'm about to start talking about my story on here, coming up in Chicago. But I'm gonna chop it up in sections and let y'all know how it was with me coming up in Chicago and tell my story on here, Alright, man, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, on the low end. It's considered the low end. I grew up on 35th and State. The projects I come from is called Stateway Gardens. I grew up 3651 South Federal. The building I grew up in was Pimp City. Anybody from Chicago, they know it's a well-known building. I come up under that cloth. Man, let me start off. I'm not affiliated today. I'm not active today. I'm not under no organization today. But I was under the Gangster Disciple cloth. I was under the GD banner. I probably come under that second generation or that second wave of being in the streets, you know what I mean? My entire family rode under that growth and development. So, you know what I mean? Let me get that clear. You know what I mean? I come in that late 70s, man, that wave of, and that's what I came under. So, in the projects on 35th, the projects was around me was Stateway Gardens, the Robert Taylor homes, the 10-story buildings. You had the Gangster Disciples, the Mighty Dales, the Dale Vikings, the Four Corner Hustlers, the Black P Stones, the Latin Kings. BDs wasn't really that big. It was sprinkles of BDs. They wasn't thick back then. And those was the main. You had some conservative vice lords, but the GDs was the thickest organization at that time. Nobody, hands down, we were the thickest organization. Nobody was thicker than us. You know what I mean? That was period, point blank. We was definitely the thickest and deepest and strongest organization. But back then, you didn't have to worry about all the killing that was going on, right? How it is right now. And as coming up, we was like, we had rules. We had to learn the creeds, the laws. We had to learn we had to learn the whole structure of the organization. We had to learn that shit. You know what I mean? When we got sent to the audio home, you have to know your shit. You know what I mean? You have to know everything. And it's like, man, when I traveled, you represented. You know what I mean? And in Chicago, hats mean something. You know what I mean? We cranked our hats to different sides. Hats to the right was GDs, hats to the left was them brothers. We rocked that shit. You know what I mean? We made sure we represented. And I had two older brothers. And just so everybody know, when I was coming up, they called me Didaboo. That was my nickname. I'm one of them Upchurch boys. I put names out there so anybody so they know. Ain't no BS of what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I'll come up under Lil Charles now, Blaine Baker, the Gord brothers, the Bale brothers. You know what I mean? That's who I was under Marco, Kiki, all of them, you know what I mean? I come up under that same era of people, you know what I mean? So it was real, man, but it was good days. It wasn't like it is now, man. When we saw something, man, we fought, you know what I mean, man? We used to go to Had to travel through the IT building, man, going up to Lake Michigan. We would walk going to Lake Michigan, going through the 10-story buildings and stuff. And the Mighty Dales and all them, they roll up on us, man. We fought. We had to fight just to represent what we was riding under, you know what I mean? And we planted our feet in the sand, man. That's what it was. But it's like, you ain't have to worry about getting killed, you know what I mean? You was gonna fight and get your name rep, you know what I mean? You was gonna fight, and they was gonna let it be known them Up Church boys was serious about this. Them Up Church boys wasn't running. You know, Diddable them was, they whooped such and such, you know what I mean? That's how it was, you know what I mean? That's what it was about, you know what I mean? Wasn't no, if gunplay got involved, it was something real serious, you know what I mean? You had to get orders for something like that to go through. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, that's what it was about back then. Excuse me. But as you got older, that's when you got into the hustling. Selling the weeds, you know, the big envelope bags. You know what I mean? But we used to do the zip guns. Taking the pieces off the doors, making the zip guns. I don't know if anybody remember the zip guns. That's when we got playing with the guns. We started out with zip guns first. I don't know if anybody remember the zip guns, man. We take the pieces off the old project doors, the pieces in the top. We used to pop with the zip guns, man. We shoot real bullets though, you know what I mean? That's old school. You know what I mean? But it's like, man, that's when we first started playing with guns. But zip guns was the first guns we started messing with, you know what I mean? But it was fun in the projects, you know what I mean? I ain't even realize, you don't realize you're poor when everybody moving around the same way, you know what I mean? But growing up in the projects wasn't bad, you know what I mean? So it was like, man, we was serious, man. It was like, it was banging on the streets, you know what I mean? Shit, it was real serious back then, man. But that was the start, man. That was the start of my inauguration into the organization. A young buck trying to get his feet wet. It's chapter 1.